There's one man who refuses to follow the script.
We have rules here, you know that. And if you don't follow the rules, then what are we?
One man stands tall in the face of adversity.
But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward.
A man who rises above the ashes of hot takes.
What do you care what they say?
Easy for you to say they all love you.
It's just noise, man. You're really good at it. You might be great.
That man is Nick Kostos, and this is You Better You Bet.
If loving sports is wrong, I don't want to be right.
Where narratives are challenged and the truth is spoken.
I told you what was going to happen last week. If you didn't listen, that's on you.
This isn't talk, it's perspective.
It's not what you look at that matters. It's what you see.
This is You Better You Bet, presented by BetMGM on Westwood One Sports.
What's up, everybody? Happy and merry, wonderful Sports Wednesday to you and yours. This is You Better You Bet with Nick Kostos on Westwood One Sports, as we bring you the fastest show in all of sports. The show presented today and always by BetMGM. Make it legendary by downloading the BetMGM app and visiting BetMGM.com. And on this Wednesday morning, the world of sports absolutely buzzing. And we are going to get to all the big stories, including the high-profile team in the National Football Conference, better known to you and yours as the NFC, that made the playoffs last year, that I believe will miss the postseason this year. And I'm going to tell you why. I will also tell you why the 2026 American Football Conference, better known to you and yours, of course, as the AFC, is going to look more like it did in 2023 and 2024 than it did in 2025. And I will also inform everybody of the coach right now in professional sports that you have all heard of if you're a big sports fan. If you are a big sports fan, you will have heard of the coach that I am going to reference. This coach is on the verge of making history. Not an exaggeration. On the verge of making history. And yet nobody is talking about him. Nobody's talking about him. I will change that today when I tell you who that coach is and the history that he could be about to make. Bets for tonight will close the show as per usual in the final hour and the power hour. Danny Parkins will join us first things first on Fox Sports 1. John Fanta will join us from NBC. The phone number, 310-840-4910, 310-840-4910. Shout out to everybody watching on YouTube, youtube.com/@thekostos, THEKOSTOS. You can follow your boy, Nick Kostos, me, on all social platforms at the Kostos, THEKOSTOS. But we officially begin the wonderful Sports Wednesday edition of You Better You Bet with a thunderstruck alien as the Oklahoma City Thunder get the job done last night. Once again proving why I, Nick Kostos, am not a basketball coach. And I don't cosplay as one. I don't get on the air and try and pretend that I know the X's and O's of the NBA. I watch the game like you do, and maybe you understand the X's and O's. I said yesterday, I don't know what the adjustment's going to be that the Thunder can make if J-Dub and A.J. Mitchell don't play. Well, J-Dub didn't play. A.J. Mitchell didn't play. Thunder win. Take a 3-2 lead as the series shifts back to San Antonio. Ton of credit to the Oklahoma City Thunder. And I'll tell you something. I fell for it. I bet the San Antonio Spurs. I loved the Spurs heading into last night's game. And it's one of those where, honestly, By the end of the first quarter, I'm really regretting that. And obviously, the Thunder are up by 2 at the end of the first quarter, right? And we can detail the entire game. We'll talk about Victor Wembanyama. But just like my experience watching the game as someone that thought San Antonio would win and take a 3-2 series lead because J-Dub and A.J. Mitchell hurt, it immediately strikes me as I'm watching this game, oh my God, the Thunder have the big game experience and the San Antonio Spurs do not. And that's really what it came down to. And we'll talk in depth about Victor Wembanyama and his performance last night. But I think if you boil it down, yes, Victor Wembanyama did not play well. He didn't. But when it comes down to it, the Oklahoma City Thunder have the experience and the San Antonio Spurs do not. And it manifested itself in a major, major way in last night's game, especially in the first quarter. And if you are just a box score monkey and you wake up in the morning and go, ooh, what happened in the game last night? Let me look at the box score. And you see the Thunder were up by 2 at the end of the first. You might think, oh, like what's he talking about? How did you know in the first quarter that the Spurs were in trouble if OKC was only up by 2? Here's how I know. Because Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was terrible last night in the first quarter. He was terrible. How do I know? A, I watched the game. B, he said so after the game. He said it was maybe the worst start to a game in his career. And it's probably a little bit of hyperbole from SGA. But I mean, he said he was terrible. And he was to start the game. And if I told you that SG in a game without J-Dub and a game without A.J. Mitchell, if I told you that SGA was going to be not good to start the game, you would have thought Spurs have an excellent first quarter. And even if the Spurs aren't up by 8, aren't up by 10, aren't up by more, you would expect San Antonio to be leading at the end of the first 12 minutes of the game. Nope. OKC's winning at the end of the first. And not that the game's over at that point, but I kind of felt like I was on the wrong side of it. And it struck me in that moment. Hell, it thunderstruck me in that moment. The Oklahoma City Thunder have been, and I'm admitting I was wrong, right? So this isn't me saying, wow, this was so obvious. I didn't see it. I got seduced by the fact that Jalen Williams and A.J. Mitchell weren't playing. You know I think the Thunder are the better team than the Spurs. I picked the Thunder before the season started to win the championship over my Knicks. Looks like that was a good prediction. Hopefully the Knicks win, but you understand what I'm saying. I think OKC is the better team than San Antonio. You know that I think that. But I got seduced by the 2 injuries. And it turned out that experience was the biggest factor in last night's game. De'Aaron Fox hasn't been in a spot like this in his career. I know the one playoff run with Sacramento. He has a terrible start to the game. Wembanyama's terrible the whole game. And it makes me think of a couple years ago when the Thunder played the Dallas Mavericks in 2024 in the second round when OKC was the upstart team. They were ahead of schedule. They were the 1 seed. And they lost Game 5 to Dallas and then lost Game 6 to Dallas and got sent home. And that experience of getting knocked off the mountain and being forced to climb back up, in part, along with having a ton of really good players, including the now 2-time MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, spurred the Thunder to the top of the mountain last year and winning the NBA championship. And it just, and look, the series isn't over yet. The Spurs can obviously come back and win, but this needs to be said. This is the history of the league. This is what it is. That in order to win, it's like in Star Wars, right? There can only be 2 Sith Lords. Like that's the concrete rule. It's like a concrete rule in the NBA, barring an extreme outlier example. You must lose before you can win. The rule of 2, as Mike Brown says. Even though I feel like apparently like Darth Maul didn't actually die in The Phantom Menace. Is that a thing? I saw that on social media. Anyway, he got cut in half. So technically there were 3. In any event, there's the rule of 2 in Star Wars, and there is the rule in the NBA that in order to win, you first must lose. The Oklahoma City Thunder lost. They lost a couple years ago to Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks. San Antonio Spurs haven't lost yet. And look, they might not lose. They could win Game 6. They could win Game 7. They could beat the Knicks in the NBA Finals, and they could be like this historic team that has bucked every trend, and that will solidify Victor Wembanyama. I don't even know what we would say about Wemby. If they win Game 7 in OKC and then win the championship, my God, what we'll be saying about Victor Wembanyama and the San Antonio Spurs. But at the moment right now, we would all acknowledge, right? It looks more likely that the Spurs are going to go the way of so many great teams in the past. Basically, all of your favorite great teams have lost before they've won. Whether it's the Jordan Bulls, the Shaq Lakers, you lose, LeBron, you lose before you win. And right now, it looks like the San Antonio Spurs will lose before they win. And just to reiterate, this is not me trying to, I'm not saying that this was obvious beforehand. I bet the Spurs. I lost money on the game. So I didn't even see it last night. And as I'm telling you, while I'm watching, I'm thinking, I blew it. I should have known. I should have known better, even without Jalen Williams and AJ Mitchell. And I like to take that experience moving forward. Let's talk about Victor Wembanyama. What a strange, weird, no good, very bad, some would say unethical performance last night from Victor Wembanyama in San Antonio's Game 5 loss. And before we go any further, I want everyone to take a listen to this soundbite. What Victor Wembanyama had to say post-game last night to the media after his the most hollow, empty 20.6 rebound performance mine eyes have ever seen in a big spot. Take a listen to this earth-shattering piece of sound that makes tremendous news from Victor Wembanyama. Oh, wait. He didn't speak to the media after the game last night. Victor Wembanyama declined to speak to the media after the game last night. Some would say that is unethical. And we can talk about that in a moment where, also, you want to talk about just ethics with Victor Wembanyama wants to criticize, and I think Wemby's awesome, right? I think he's great, but he wants to criticize everybody and everything. He's basically 7'4" French John Lovitz from The Critic. Wants to criticize everyone and everything. How about Victor? And I love that this happened, but let's call it like we see it. At the end of the game, Victor Wembanyama is whispering in the air, and I called for this games ago. Whispering in the air as Mitch Johnson empties the bench when they're losing, right? And in comes Bismack Biyombo, and in comes Mason Plumlee. Dust off one of the 9 Plumlee brothers. And Wembanyama's whispering in their ear, and all of a sudden they're putting Jared McCain on his ass. All that was missing was Victor Wembanyama in his French accent instead of an Italian accent like Clemenza in The Godfather saying, leave the gun, take the cannoli. Or in this instance, perhaps, leave the gun, take the eclair. I mean, you want to talk about unethical. And I loved it. I'm just saying, if Wemby's going to criticize everybody, then he needs to be criticized as well. So this was a strange game from Wemby, who seemed very passive. And maybe you want to say it's a bad... And Mitch Johnson, to his credit, kind of took some responsibility after the game. Mitch Johnson saying that OKC's game plan was better than San Antonio's game plan. Here's the bottom line, though. That can be true. Also, if Victor Wembanyama is the best player in the series, and I believe he is, despite what happened last night, I still think Wemby's bad. And SGA can say he played a bad game. SGA did not play a bad game. And we'll talk about him in a little bit. SGA had 32 points. I thought he played pretty well. But if we're going to consider Victor Wembanyama, and I do, to be clear, I'm not backtracking. They could lose in Game 6, and I still won't backtrack off of it. He's the best player in the series. But if that's true, and it is, he's got to be more aggressive. He's got to be more aggressive. Even if it doesn't lead to a great statistical output, he needs to be way, 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 way more aggressive. He got bodied last night by Isaiah Hartenstein. Just look at, I don't know if they're called heat maps. It's probably not a heat map, right? But when you look at the flow chart, I don't even know. I don't know, one of these newfangled graphics that you see where it shows where Wemby touched the ball in game 1 and all the time where he was on the court when he touched it versus last night. He's like under the basket all the time, and not all the time, but most of the time in game 1. The Thunder did an unbelievable job of pulling him away from the basket last night. And I get it. Like, coaching's involved in that. And Mark Dagnall's a great coach. Also, if you're Victor Wembanyama, you say screw that. And you do what you have to do. So I didn't love that last night from Victor Wembanyama. And what it reminded me of, because you know I love thinking about things that have happened in sports and relating them to things that have happened in the past to potentially serve as a roadmap for what will happen moving forward. So let's hop in the You Better You Bet time machine for just a moment. Last night, May 26th, year of our Lord, 2026. Let's go back 37 years. May 31st, year of our Lord, 1989. Last night, Game 5, Thunder Spurs, first conference finals, Game 5, and first conference finals for Victor Wembanyama. May 31st, 1989. The first conference final, and the first Game 5, obviously, of a conference final, for a player that all of you, maybe you've heard of him. His name, Michael Jordan. Bulls against the Pistons. In that Game 5, and this is the famous Jordan Rule series. And in case you're young and you're like, hey, what were the Jordan rules? It was basically the Pistons beat the crap out of Michael Jordan because if they don't, he's going to score 50 points. And they're going to lose. So what does Chuck Daly do and what do the bad boys do? They kick the crap out of Michael Jordan. In this Game 5, series tied at 2, the Pistons would win the next 2, and then they would beat the 89 Lakers, who had won 11 straight, but Magic Johnson and Byron Scott got hurt in the Pistons sweep in the NBA Finals, right? We talked about that earlier in the week. In this Game 5, Michael Jordan took, this is crazy, just like, as an aside, could you imagine if social media existed then, right? 1989, in the Eastern Conference Final, with how hyped Michael Jordan was, deservedly so, obviously, right? In Game 5 of that Eastern Conference Final, Jordan's first Eastern Conference Final, do you know how many shots he took as the Bulls lost to the Pistons in a pivotal Game 5? 8. He took 8 shots in Game 5 and went 4 of 8 from the field. Scored 18 points because he got to the line, but he took 8 shots in the game. Craig Hodges, remember Craig Hodges? Was a pretty good player for the Bulls, not in the same galaxy as Michael Jordan. Led the Bulls in shots and points as they lost in Game 5. Last night, Julian Champagnie took as many shots as Victor Wembanyama and scored more points as the Spurs lost a pivotal Game 5 on the road at the Oklahoma City Thunder. I don't say this to try and equate Wemby to Michael Jordan. I mean that. I think we all acknowledge that if Wemby hits his ceiling outcome, he could be even better than Jordan. I don't say that lightly. That's a ceiling outcome. He might not reach it. But Wemby has reached this rarefied air now, right? At 22 with what he's done, where I think the comparison is apt and fair while acknowledging that he may never get to that level. I think that's fair, right? So I don't want to fully bury Wemby. And a lot of people will after last night. It was a bad game. Look what Jordan did in that Game 5. In his first Game 5. In his first Eastern Conference Final. Now, the big difference between Jordan in that spot and Wemby in this one, and I actually read the post-game, like some post-game articles while preparing for the show. Michael Jordan spoke to the media after the game. And Michael Jordan he was wrong, but he was defiant. And I can appreciate that. for what turned out to be the greatest competitor and maybe the greatest athlete of all time. Jordan saying, if they're going to double and triple team me, I'm not going to shoot. My teammates have to make the shots. And he can be right about that. Also, I think MJ would realize as his career went on that, like, no matter what happened, he was going to put the team on his back. Fair or unfair. Wemby doesn't speak to the media. So Wemby's got some growing up to do, and that's okay. He's a kid. I'm 42. He's 22. I feel like I still have growing up to do. The other thing that Wemby's going to have to do, and again, maybe the Spurs win the championship. It's possible, right? I'm not saying it's impossible. You got to put some muscle on that frame because it can't be this easy to body him out of the way. It just can't be, and it won't be as time goes on. And once that happens, and he puts some more muscle on, I mean, it going to be a massive problem. A significant problem for the rest of the league. And I don't buy the fatigue stuff with Wemby, where, he plays a million minutes and he hasn't done that in his career. Guys and gals, he's 22 years old. Like, come on. He's 22. Like, stop it. Stop it. I mean, if I, in my early 40s, can stay up every night watching these games and all the post game, and then get up to do this show at 9 a.m. Eastern, Victor Wembanyama, at 22 years old, physical freak from another planet, can gut it out in the Western Conference Final. I don't want to hear the fatigue excuse. And the other thing that I have no interest in today, zero interest, and it was all over social media, and I got to tell you, I'm a Knicks fan, and I'm not looking forward to this if it's Knicks Thunder, which I think it will be. All the discourse about the officiating is nauseating. It is. It'll make you nauseous. Like, enough. Like, my uncle Ruben, it was his birthday yesterday. Shout out to him, on the 24th, recently. He lives in Oklahoma. He's a Thunder fan. He's a jerk. He's a traitor. He should be a Knicks fan, but he's a Thunder fan. He's lived there for a long time. He's texting me about the officiating. Like, they won the game, and he's texting me about the officiating. Big Thunder fan. They won. Knicks, it's going to be out of control. The Spurs did not lose last night's game because of the officiating. I don't care if Mitch Johnson didn't get granted a challenge. It didn't impact the game. The Thunder kicked their ass. That's it. That's all that needs to be said. That's it. The Thunder kicked their ass. And Victor Wembanyama needs to be way, way, way better. Period. Mitch Johnson needs to be better. Period. He said so after the game. Mitch Johnson did. We didn't hear from Victor Wembanyama. And that's unfortunate. Some would say unethical. Now, perhaps something happened that we're unaware of, and if that happens, I'll obviously tell you, good on him. Whatever. There's a reason for it. Optics don't seem great for young Victor Wembanyama. And it feels like, not definitely, and I was wrong heading into Game 5, I can be wrong heading into Game 6. It feels like the inexperience, too big of a problem for the Spurs to overcome, and the moments last night, a little too big, and the lights too bright for the San Antonio Spurs. We are just getting started here on this Wednesday on You Better You Bet. On the other side, how about the Oklahoma City Thunder and their performance last night? And if the Thunder win the title, should Daryl Morey get a championship ring? We'll talk about it next.
Lastly, when are you going to think you had a good game?
When I have a good game.
Now, back to You Better You Bet with Nick Kostos on Westwood One Sports.
This segment on You Better You Bet sponsored by Progressive Commercial Insurance, protecting small businesses with affordable coverage options. Get a quote today at progressivecommercial.com, progressivecommercial.com. I'll tell you what. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, whether you like him or not, and I feel like most people don't like him. Not because he's a bad guy, but because he flops. And there are tons of video compilations on social media to prove that point. And like I said, you think the SGA discourse about flopping is bad now? Wait until they play the Knicks, if and when they play the Knicks in the finals. And I'm saying that to you as a Knicks fan. It is going to be through the roof, and some of it may be coming from me. If the Thunder win the series and he's flopping, I'm going to be pissed if that's the case. But let's tell it like it is with SGA. He is everything you want in a leader. Everything. And all you have to do is look at, like, the You Better You Bet time machine. Let's go back in time to 2 days ago when the Cleveland Cavaliers got that ass swept by the New York Knicks. And Donovan Mitchell goes, we did it to ourselves. And James Harden says, well, actually, we're the better team after we got swept and lost at home by 37 in a closeout game. Kenny Atkinson goes, analytics said we're leading in the series before game 4. They're excuse makers. Excuses are the tools of losers. The Cavs lost and couldn't bring themselves to say, yeah, the Knicks are better. They had to make excuses. SGA scores 32 points. The Thunder win the game. And he's still saying, I didn't play well. Could you imagine if that were James Harden and he scored 32 and they were up 3-2 on the Spurs? He'd be saying, I'm better than MJ. MJ got nothing on me. I'm the GOAT. I'm the greatest player of all time. If Kenny Atkinson were Mark Daigneault, you imagine what he would be saying? Analytics would say, not only are we the champions this year, but analytics have retroactively, forget about, when the Bulls three-peated twice, we actually won those championships. Analytics says we were better than the 91, 92, 93, 96, 97, 98 Bulls. We actually won 6 championships in the 90s. The delusional Cavs. And here's SGA after a win, 2-time MVP, Finals MVP, saying after they won and he scored 32 points, I didn't play well. You don't have to like Shai. I'm not trying to convince you to like him. Hell, if the Thunder play the Knicks, I'm going to hate him. But you have to respect him. And if you don't, it's a you thing. It's a you problem. It's a you problem. Also, if the Thunder win the title, should Sam Presti be on the float next to Daryl Morey? Are they like the co-general managers of the Thunder? Daryl Morey for basically I got a cheesesteak, a ham sandwich, traded Jared McCain to the Oklahoma City Thunder. For 3 second-round picks, here's your Game 5 adjustment against Victor Wembanyama. Unbelievable that happened. And it was one of those trades in the moment when you saw it, you think, what the hell are they doing? I don't care about luxury tax. I don't care about a glut or a logjam at guard with Maxey and Edgecombe. McCain's all you figure out a way to make it work. You don't trade him to Oklahoma City. What the hell is that? What? Are we serious? And could this be something that actually happened? Unbelievable. You just take this young guard who's unafraid of the big moments. You just take him. We'll take a couple second-round picks, some flyers. Yeah, you know what we'll do? We'll take this guy from Greece, or maybe this guy from Israel, or this guy from whatever, or this second-rounder from the West Coast Conference. What? I mean, are you joking? So bad. So bad that the Sixers, who just fired, and I think Morey is a pretty good general manager, that's it's one of the worst things ever. And I don't care whose fault it is. Josh Harris's fault, Daryl Morey, Nick Nurse, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's a total failure. The Sixers should hire Daryl Morey again and then fire him again. Or the Thunder should just hire him and put it, you know, like at the NBA draft lottery, when like you try to have a good luck charm represent your team, the Thunder should have Daryl Morey sitting courtside for every game in the NBA Finals if they make it. Here's Jared McCain for nothing. Unbelievable. Unreal from the Philadelphia 76ers. Last note on OKC for now. Chet Holmgren, as the kids would say, got his lick back. Outplayed Victor Wembanyama, 16-11. Good stuff from Chet as the Thunder win, up 3-2 in the series. 1 win away from the NBA Finals. We'll take a break, and on the other side, friend of the show, Danny Parkins joins us first things first on Fox Sports 1, talking all things NBA here on a Wednesday.
Number 5 to the Thunder. One win from a return to the finals. And an epic Game 6 awaits us on Thursday night.
Now, back to You Better You Bet with Nick Kostos on Westwood One Sports.
Be part of the playoff action when you bet with boosted odds. Activate your odds boost token for any bet on the Stanley Cup playoffs, and you'll receive a bigger payout if your bet wins. Get ready for puck drop with BetMGM. Download the BetMGM app today. Joining us right now on the show, from First Things First on Fox Sports 1. Congratulations to him on the unbelievable radiothon on the Score in Chicago at the end of last week, raising money for cancer research. We talked about it on the show last Wednesday when he joined us, raising over $800,000 for cancer research in a 24-hour radiothon. Danny Parkins with us. Congratulations, my man. I know how much that means to you personally. Great job. Welcome back to the program. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. Thank you for the kind words. Thank you for the opportunity to promote the event ahead of time. Yeah, it was a really special thing. You know, Michael Smith, longtime member of the sports media industry, former Sports Center anchor.
Dude, I got choked up watching that.
Yeah, it was an incredible thing. I'm really proud of it all because like Michael Smith and I have never met. We got connected through a mutual friend in Bomani Jones. And he had never talked about losing his wife to brain cancer publicly before, and he trusted me in the radiothon to do it. So, you know, Anthony Rizzo was a cancer survivor, and he called in. Ian Happ called in and cried on the air about losing his dad. Jameson Tyone, a cancer survivor, was on. Eddie Olczyk. And then just a bunch of normal, non-famous patients, you know, came on and told their stories. We were able to surprise some of them with, you know, throwing out a first pitch at a Cubs game, a meet and greet with Anthony Rizzo. Just like, you know, I was really proud of what it's become. 100% went to cancer research, and you know, $540,000 the first year, $750 last year, as you mentioned, over $805,000 this year. So it's growing, and you know, I guess I got to do it again.
Do you? This is a loaded question, like a tough question, I think.
Okay, good. You're a tough interviewer. Yeah, go ahead.
Because I was very famously. Because as you're talking, I'm like, just how, because it must be very difficult to compartmentalize in the moments, because it's all really screwed up. Like, life is screwed up, obviously. And you've talked publicly about what happened with your brother, Brad, and you have that. And then, not that you're bearing the weight of all these things that have happened, that's not the right way to put it, but you're the one that people are telling these things to, and then the radiothon ends, and you have to go about your life, and I'm sure you carry some of that with you, and how profoundly, like, there's beauty in it for sure, but it's also, like, profoundly messed up. And I feel like it's something that would, like, keep me up at night, and just curious, like, how you compartmentalize all that.
Yeah, probably not as healthy as I should, if I'm being totally honest. It's an astute observation and question. But, like, how can I really complain about that when I'm talking to all of these people who have either lost loved ones or are going through terminal cancer diagnoses, right? Like, people are like, oh, how are you going to stay up for the 24 hours? I'm like, what, am I going to complain about being tired? Well,
yes.
Yeah, I could, but I'll do that off the air. About 2 months before the radiothon, 6-8 weeks, whatever it was, this woman who I never met reached out to me. And we exchanged contact information, and she called me while her husband was in the operating room for his brain surgery. And she was like, no one else understands. She's like, I don't know anybody else who has ever gone through this. I know I don't even know you. And she just cried on the phone for almost 30 minutes. And it's like, yeah, that's like a heavy thing to have. But I truly take it as an honor. You know, it's what Brad would have done, and I know he loved it. And so, yeah, I don't want anyone to play a small violin for me, but yeah, it's just, I know way too many cancer patients now through my work with this stuff, but it also motivates you to keep trying to push research forward so that some of these diseases can become, if not treatable, at least curable, to improve these people's quality of life.
Do you ever think this is nothing to do with anything? Do you ever think that, like, because you have kids, right? I think about this sometimes. Like, my daughter's 2. In, like, 30 years, let's say. Your sons are older than my daughter, but that medicine will be at such a point where like maybe stuff like maybe they'll have a different world than the one that we live in with how rapidly things kind of move.
Dude, absolutely. I mean, it already does. Like, there is a blood test that you can figure out if you have pancreatic cancer. That used to be a death sentence 30 years ago. Like, you know, like we have made tremendous strides on some of this stuff that is like genuinely really encouraging. Technology with like blood transfusions has really helped with a lot of forms of leukemia and other blood cancers. Like not all of them, but some of them. Early detection lung cancer is over a 90% cure rate now, you know, and you can live cancer free. Now it's tough to detect it in stage 1, but they're working on it. So, you know, there are the medical field, it's practicing medicine. There are some things that they've made progress on. I focus on brain cancer because it's what I lost my brother to, but also because neurological diseases, we don't do a very good job with them because the brain is a very difficult, complex organism, and figuring out how to get medicine to different parts of the brain is really tough, and you can't do like a brain replacement surgery and that sort of thing. So, you know, we don't do great with Alzheimer's and dementia and Parkinson's and glioblastoma and things like that. So that's where I try to focus my efforts. Sometimes it feels like you're spitting in the ocean, no question. But, you know, you hopefully believe that if you move it a foot forward, the next person can take it a yard forward. And that's a cliche, but, you know, it's true. And I've talked to enough neuro-oncologists who absolutely believe that, like, there is a way towards at least progress, and we have to keep working at it.
I would really like to ask you like more questions about this because
let's talk sports, dude. Let's talk sports.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting. Yeah, we'll talk some sports here. You bet on this Wednesday.
Sports. Yeah, I didn't even think we were going to do any of this, but I'm happy to go wherever you want to go. Let's talk.
No,
sports.
I just look. This is real life stuff, and it's really heavy. And at the end of the day, it matters way more. I know everyone knows that, but just like and I like you, and you're a friend, and like that's heavy, and just want to see how it went for you.
I appreciate it. Like, here's the thing. Like, and if anyone wants to ask me more questions about that at a Knicks playoff game and give me a ticket, like, I'm willing to answer all of your questions.
I'll get in touch with my guy Yanni. We'll see what we can do.
You know what I mean? Like, I got a lot of thoughts on this and other things at a Knicks game.
So we'll see if we can.
Go ahead.
I feel like over the course of the next however many years, like I may be asking you for more things, but if this is where we're at, I don't feel so bad about it, honestly. Here.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So Danny Parkins, noted Radiothon expert, also noted Take Smith.
Thank you.
You're welcome. What's the take coming out of Game 5 of the Western Conference Final?
If the Thunder pull this off, they are as good as I said they were all year. And even I don't think I thought they were this good. Like, it is Jalen Williams and AJ Mitchell not being there is so massive given what Wemby can do and has been doing to neutralize Chet. Like, you're not supposed to be able to take away a team's second and third best scorers and facilitators in terms of initiating offense, and then to still be able to win a series against an elite defensive team. So it's a fascinating chess match. I think it's an all-time chess match basketball series. I fully expect it to go 7. I'm bummed that we're not seeing these teams at 100% full strength, but that also makes me marvel at, like, if the basketball is this high level and they're both so injured, imagine just how good these teams are and how much better they are than everybody else. So I have a lot of thoughts on it, but my overriding one is the Thunder should not be able to beat the Spurs with those guys out, and they are, which just speaks to how unbelievably well-constructed of a basketball team they are.
Game 1 of the NBA Finals is a week from today, and we'll have you on the show next week, so we can talk about the Knicks then. Maybe we'll have time to get to it here, but if not, it's all right. What about, I want to call this, we'll just call it, what's the take? Victor Wembanyama, Danny Parkins, ... What's the take?
I mean, he's really good, but it's crazy that he can be, like, it makes sense that someone who is skinny like that can be bullied a little bit. But he also came into last night averaging 30 points, 13 boards, and 3 blocks on nearly 40, 90 splits. Like the Thunder have done a good job on him, and he has largely been dominant. It's a fascinating thing to watch, and it makes me think, like, if you weren't the Thunder, how dominant would he be? So I think that everybody in the world is going to be rooting for the Knicks because, like, the Thunder got theirs. Wemby is inevitable.
You think so?
Moment in time
do you think you? I don't know if I agree with that point that everyone's gonna. I think a lot of people hate the Knicks and never want to see the Knicks win.
I think here's what I will say about the Knicks, and we have time to do the basketball stuff next week. As much as I find many of them to be obnoxious, many of you to be obnoxious, I'll personalize it.
I will wear the scarlet letter O with pride.
You guys have to be shooting up the like best fan bases in sports rankings. Because
shooting up. We're like Jim Carrey and Dumb and Dumber. We are there, man.
Yeah. No, but
we just won 17 games for a long time. It's tough to really be excited.
No, right. But that's what I guess in terms of like the coming out party nationally, people totally like not understanding it unless you realize that like New York is splintered between Yankees and Mets, between Jets and Giants. Nobody in the world cares about the Nets. Like, it's a basketball city. Really, very few places in the country are basketball first in terms of major metropolitan areas. All of the losing. Like, you took over Cleveland. You took over Philadelphia. That's not like taking over Phoenix or taking over Miami. Like, taking over proud, cold weather, northern sports towns and just take part of that as a money thing, but part of it is a passion thing. It's a nice moment to remind everybody, like, oh yeah, like Knicks fans have an argument of being like the craziest, most loyal fan base in all of sports. I don't know that you're number one because some of it is you just have more money than everybody else. And that's what is so offensive about these prices at Madison Square Garden. And that like you literally could charter a private jet to Oklahoma City, buy courtside tickets, buy a home, fly back in a private jet. And that's the equivalent of like a 5th row ticket at the Garden. Like, that is a little gross. But you guys are really, really good fans and really loyal. And so I think Knicks fans are having a moment.
2 things. 1, I don't pay for tickets.
I know you don't.
2.
That's why my DMs are open. I know.
I enjoy the juxtaposition between New York basically being like Dubai and having a democratic socialist serving as the mayor of the city. I just find all this stuff to be very funny. You're the best, buddy. Congratulations again on the success of the Radiothon. We'll talk on Twitter at Danny Parkins. Have a great show today on FS1, and we will catch up with you next week.
Thanks, buddy. Good stuff. We'll talk sports next week. Bye.
Our pal Dan. Well, maybe not.
Yeah, who knows?
Who knows? There's stuff to say. We'll make it up in the moment. Our pal Danny Parkins joining us here on You Better You Bet. Hour 1 done. Hour 2 for you coming up on the other side. And we'll start the hour with me telling everybody the NFC team that made the playoffs last year that will not this year and why.
The biggest names in the business are on You Better You Bet with Nick Kostos.
Hey, this is Joe Buck, and you have done it. You have found it. You are listening to You Better You Bet. Great decision.
Hi, this is Kevin Harlan of CBS, Westwood One, and TNT, and I'm listening as you do every day to You Better You Bet with the most handsome single man in the radio business. A man who, if I was not married for 38 years, I might consider myself the kind of guy that can electrify a listening audience and a crowd of bystanders watching him do what he does so well each and every day. Continue to listen right here on You Better You Bet.
This is You Better You Bet on Westwood One Sports. Brought to you by BetMGM.
The wonderful Sports Wednesday edition of You Better You Bet rolls on. Nick Kostos, our tremendous crew, and whoever the hell you are on Westwood One Sports. Love the first hour of the show today. I think, I don't think I've ever not loved the first hour of the show. You can basically set it in stone that to lead off the 10 a.m. hour Eastern every single day, I, Nick Kostos, will tell you, again, whoever the hell you are, man, I love the first hour of the show. A, because I do. B, because if it sucked, I would never say it publicly. Privately, you betcha. Publicly, no chance. Da-na-na-na. No chance in hell. Good news, it didn't suck. It was awesome. Started talking about last night's Oklahoma City Thunder win over the Spurs, and ultimately, this is an inexperienced thing for San Antonio. The Spurs not ready for the big moments. Lights a little too bright for Victor Wembanyama and company, even for De'Aaron Fox and company. Not so much for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, not so much for Chet Holmgren, who got his lick back against Wemby, and not so much for Jared McCain and the Oklahoma City Thunder, who got it done when it mattered the most. 127-114. Series will shift back to San Antonio with the Thunder one win away from another NBA Finals appearance. And just, this needs to be said. And I planned on doing this last hour, and then I went long as per usual, and then we had Danny on, so I didn't get to. I need to give the Knicks fan perspective here on last night's game. It should surprise no one, both because it makes sense for me to say this and also because I've talked about it. I would much rather the Knicks play the Spurs in the NBA Finals than the Thunder. And that is not meant to be disrespectful to San Antonio. You know that all season long and all off-season long, I said it all like leading up to the start of the season, I had Thunder over Knicks in the NBA Finals, right? You know I think Oklahoma City's the better team than the Spurs. I picked them to win the series. I have Oklahoma City over the Knicks. And then I hope that bet loses. But that's what I think is going to happen. Oklahoma City's better. I liked San Antonio last night because of the injuries for OKC, and OKC, to Danny's point in the last hour, proved that they're just that good, that they can still get the job done. Here's Jared McCain for a ham sandwich from the Philadelphia 76ers, 20 points in Game 5 of the Western Conference Final. I think the Thunder are better than the Spurs. So, of course, I'd rather play San Antonio than the Thunder. Feels like it's going to be Knicks Thunder, right? I'm not guaranteeing it. The Spurs, of course, can win Game 6 at home. They can win Game 7 on the road. It can happen. And the Spurs are a 3.5-point home favorite in Game 6. So the betting market says this is going 7, and the Thunder will likely win in 7. The thought of my Knicks being in the NBA Finals for the first time in 27 years and having to play this team, I was going to say that I'm not yet to the point that it makes me physically ill. My stomach is actually turning right now. And I'm not sure if it's because I drank a vat of coffee this morning. Maybe that's it. Or because I'm already physically ill thinking about the Knicks having to play Oklahoma City. I'm going to bitch and moan here for a little bit. Not for a tremendous amount of time, but, I said it yesterday. Like, the Knicks couldn't get the 8, and I know they play in the same conference, I understand, but you'll understand the point I'm making. Like, the Knicks couldn't get, like, the Jimmy Butler 8 seed Heat, the Luka Doncic Mavs. And I know, like, I say this stuff to my friends, and I put it on social media, and all the Knicks fans say, I don't care who we face. Bring them on. Are you stupid? Bring them on. This is like at the Battle of Winterfell in the abortion that was the final season of Game of Thrones. Like if all the humans, as the White Walkers are running towards them, being like, bring them on. Bring on the Night King. Yeah, that's what we want. Bring them on. And you get routed. You want that? Really? Now call me a coward. Call me a wussy, or a similar word that starts with a different consonant. I'd rather play the Spurs. Hell, give me the Lakers. Give me the Timberwolves. And Kenny Henderson in our show chat writes this, and I think it is a fair criticism of me, being honest, right? And people are saying this to me on social media. But I have the answer. So I don't have to admit I'm wrong here. And if I were, I would tell you. You know that. I have no problem admitting it. As a married man, it's in my contract. You have to admit when you're wrong. And sometimes when you're right, you have to admit you're wrong. I have said that the Knicks are an all-time team. I gave you the stats yesterday to back it up. First off, the greatest 11-game run in the history of basketball, of pro basketball, what they've accomplished. They join an illustrious list of teams to win 11 consecutive playoff games. 89 Lakers, 99 Spurs, 01 Lakers, 17 Warriors. The only team that didn't win was the 89 Lakers because their entire backcourt got hurt against the Detroit Pistons. The Knicks are in rarefied air. But here's my question for everybody, right? If the Thunder win another championship and go back-to-back with this team, and they slay the Victor Wembanyama San Antonio Dragon in the Western Conference Final without Jalen Williams to get there, are the Thunder not an all-time team? I'm being serious. Fair or unfair? Fair or unfair? If the Thunder win the title, they will have gone back-to-back. And you have the potential sprouting of a dynasty. Potential sprouting of a dynasty. And we'll see if the Spurs stand in their way. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Tell me that Oklahoma City is not an all-time team if they go back-to-back. They win back-to-back championships. Fair or unfair to say that? If the Knicks were playing, honestly, Knicks Spurs, I'm confident. And not that the Knicks can't beat the Thunder, but I mean, do you want me to get on this microphone and lie to you and tell you bring on the Thunder? How stupid that is? You want to play the bet? Like, why would you want that? It's so stupid to want that. I want OKC. Why? So you can lose? What the hell does that mean? Like, do you think when the Seattle Seahawks beat the 49ers in the divisional round this past year, and they were watching Rams-Bears, do you think they were like, give us the Rams? Or do you think they would have rather played Chicago? Like, what? Come on. Like, let's be adults here. Call me a coward if you want. Fine. I'd rather play the Spurs. And the fact that the Knicks have to play the Thunder most likely makes, like to quote Vincent Kennedy McMahon, it makes me physically ill. It makes me want to vomit. That's my truth. You can disagree if you want. I think I laid out, like Kenny and our show crew. Did I lay that out okay? Am I wrong about that? Like, if the Knicks were playing not the Thunder, I feel okay about it. No?
I think you're being a little soft, but I mean, I think you laid it out fine.
What, Bill? Am I being soft here? Tyler, am I being soft here with my take that I'd rather see San Antonio than Oklahoma City?
No, I think you're being a fan, and I'm okay. I'm okay with it. Like, yes, you have to beat the best teams, but you beat who you have to beat, and if it's the Spurs, you can celebrate. Like, the 85 Bears, there's so many Bears fans that are just like, I wish we played the Dolphins.
Why, so you could have lost potentially?
I'll take 46-10. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's the funny thing about this, right? Is like, Bill, that's so analogous, right? And for people that don't know, Kenny, do we have the sound effect here for the You Better You Bet time machine? I think we do, right? Let's go back in time. I'm actually going to look at the date. Hold on. Okay. The date was, okay. Let's take a trip into the You Better You Bet time machine, and I will lay out for it in a second. And we are going back in time, everybody, to December 2nd, 1985. Honestly, for my daughter's second birthday, my mom got her this like Fisher Price like huge rocket ship because she was obsessed with rocket ships that I had to put together, which I did. Credit to me. And you press a button and like that's the noise it makes. It was okay. It was all right. You Better You Bet on this Wednesday. Nick Kostos and you here on Westwood One Sports. All right, December 2nd, 1985. Now, the 85 Bears went 15-1, annihilated my Giants in the divisional round, annihilated the LA Rams in the NFC Championship game, annihilated the Patriots in Super Bowl 20. The only game that they lost all season, they got obliterated by Dan Marino and the Miami Dolphins in one of the most famous Monday Night Football games ever in the Orange Bowl in Miami, 38-24. And in the 1985 AFC Championship game, in one of many playoff games, or not really playoff games, but in one of many games that Dan Marino and Don Shula would yak away together. There's no other way to put it. Lost to the underdog New England Patriots in the 85 AFC Championship game in Miami to deny football fans at the time a dream Super Bowl of the 85 Bears with the greatest defense maybe in the history of football, certainly at the time, maybe that we've ever seen, against the Dan Marino-led offense, which, if you'll recall, made it to the Super Bowl in 1984, the year before, got housed by Joe Montana and the Niners, and in that year, Dan Marino's second year, he set the touchdown record with 48 in 1984, a record that would not be bested until Tom Brady threw 50 when the Patriots went undefeated in 2007. And Bears fan, like, you wanted, that's what you wanted? Think about now, in 2026. Does anyone care that the Bears beat the Patriots instead of the Dolphins? No. All we talk about are the 85 Bears, right? Like, oh, like, Knicks, you're a scared Knicks fan because you'd rather play San Antonio. First off, you know what? Like, here's what I'll say to all of you. Piss off. Piss off. Like, you know what you all can do? And I don't mean this. I do a little bit. Just as sports fans, not as human beings. Go to hell. Like, how dare you adjudicate me as a Knicks fan? And my feelings as a Knicks fan. I've never seen my team win. This is a good thing, right? I'm not even going to say what I was going to say. Like, my childhood, like, lots of people have way worse childhoods than I did. So understand this is a little tongue-in-cheek. Michael Jordan is the cause of childhood trauma for me. I'm saying that tongue-in-cheek. I'm not trying to make light of, like, real childhood trauma. But, every single year was like a rite of passage. Michael Jordan would kick me in the groin. The Knicks would lose in heartbreaking fashion. It sucked. I've never seen them win. And you want to tell me how I'm supposed to enjoy and root for my team in the NBA Finals for the first time in almost 3 decades? That's what you want to do? Like, I care who they beat? I don't care at all who they beat. I don't care if the Thunder can win, every one of the Thunder can get food poisoning, and they can all miss the game. And they could roll out their 5 worst players. And you can put you know what? There could be another pandemic. I hope not. And they could play it in a bubble, and all the Thunder players get the new strain of COVID, the Optimus Prime Megatron version of COVID, and you can put an asterisk next to it, and I don't care. I want my title. I want my title. I don't care how they get it. I don't care who they beat. I don't care about going through the best team. I want my title. I want my championship. And then whatever happens, happens. And then next time they're there, we can say, oh, yeah, give me the best team. Yeah, let's go best v best. No, I don't want that. You know, everyone's, oh, well, yeah, what would you have? The Hawks and the Sixers and the Cavs. You want another easy opponent? Yes. Yes. You know what I want? Bitch, you know what I want? I do want to talk to Samson. Fly me to the moon. I want to bust out the brooms. I'd like to win every game by 30. I very much enjoyed this. You know, it's pretty enjoyable as a sports fan when your team wins every game by 1,000,000 points and doesn't lose. It's fun. And some of you are like, bring on the Thunder. What the hell? And you know what? I'm asking you not to adjudicate me. I won't adjudicate you. You think whatever you want. That's fine. I disagree wholeheartedly. But sure, you want the Thunder? Like, God bless. Great. Enjoy it. It's like, yeah, like you're gonna step into the octagon with someone and you purposefully choose someone who's bigger and stronger than you. Yeah, give me that person. Why? So you get your ass kicked? That's your choice. That's your choice. Look, I'm not gonna act like the Knicks have lost before the final starts if it's Knicks Thunder. I'm not gonna, it's not gonna be like, like a funeral march. We're not gonna play taps before game one. But will I be more worried? Yes, of course. How could you not be? Are you a human being? I mean this. I don't get it. I don't get it. Yeah, bring on give me the Thunder. Are you crazy? Are you crazy? Of course the Knicks can beat the Thunder. Of course they can. I'll be rooting like hell for it. It's not the thing that's most important in my life. That's my family, but it's probably second on the list. The most important things in my life. Knicks winning the title this year, probably number 2. Of course I want it to happen. Of course I think it can happen. But this idea that, like, you should want to play the best team, grow up. Grow up. I don't know what else to say. So let's take a break. We got a lot of National Football League we need to do. I wasn't planning on, I don't even know how did we get into that? That was pretty good. I enjoyed that. All right. On the other side, this will be like the 8th time I've now teased this in the first hour and 20 minutes of the show. The team that made the playoffs last year in the NFC that won't make it this year, and the AFC has got a big, big, big problem on its hands. I'll tell you what it is. Maybe next.
Sean Ryan at center. Blitz. Love in trouble. And able to get rid of the ball. Was it a fumble or a pass? And yeah, that ball's out. That's a fumble.
Now, back to You Better You Bet with Nick Kostos on Westwood One Sports.
This segment on You Better You Bet sponsored by Progressive Commercial Insurance, protecting small businesses with affordable coverage options. Get a quote today at progressivecommercial.com, progressivecommercial.com. The Green Bay Packers have a serious situation on their hands. And obviously I know this, that what is happening off the field in this instance matters way more than what could potentially happen on the field. And I don't say this to downplay the facts that I'm about to give you, but this is a sports show, right? And we're going to talk about the impact it's going to have on sports. So I know that this is what Josh Jacobs is being accused of is heinous, but this is not the show that's going to get into the legality of it. I have no idea. What we're going to talk about is how it's going to impact on field. There are other sources of content that you can find that will delve into that. That's not what I'm going to do here. But what I will tell you is, in case you missed it, and you have to be living under a rock if you missed this yesterday, Green Bay Packers running back Josh Jacobs arrested yesterday and booked on domestic violence charges, one of which is a felony charge, strangulation and suffocation. Pretty awful. Battery, domestic abuse, strangulation/suffocation, intimidation of a victim. It is worth noting, in this country, you're presumed innocent until proven guilty. Josh Jacobs, through his attorney, issued a very strong denial. I have no idea what did or didn't happen. I have no idea if this is true. I have no idea if it's false. I'm not looking to wade into those waters. What I hope is that whatever justice needs to be served is served one way or another, whether it's true or not. That's what I want. And I would like for the woman in this incident to be okay. That's what I would like. Seems fair, right? So now that all of that has been said, let's talk about the Green Bay Packers. And again, I know it can sound callous to be like, now let's transition and talk about football. But this is a sports show. I think you understand where I'm coming from. So let's talk about the Green Bay Packers and where they stand right now in the hierarchy of the NFC. Now, whether or not Josh Jacobs plays or doesn't play this year, and I have no idea he could play every game, he could play no games, he could play 12 games, I have no idea. It's not that he doesn't matter. Like, I think he matters a little bit. He's a 29-year-old running back. His best days are behind him. Like, is it possible that the combination of Marshawn Lloyd and Chris Brooks could perform well for Green Bay? They make another move? Like, yes. So this is not to insinuate, oh my God, if Josh Jacobs doesn't play, the Packers are up against it. I don't think that. But what this story has done for me is kind of shine a light on how I feel about Green Bay and how I feel about the Packers heading into the season. And to be fair to the Packers, my opinion is less that I think the Packers suck. Like I don't think that. I think Jordan Love is a very good quarterback who has the potential to be great. It probably needs to happen this year if it's ever going to happen. And I think Matt LaFleur is a really good coach. And you know that my opinion was that they should keep him and extend him, which they did. It's less that I think the Packers suck and more that I really like a lot of the other teams in the conference. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to list teams. It's like guys naming dudes. This will be a guy naming teams. And for all you guys and gals in the audience right now, watching or listening to the show, just think in your head, do you like, and be honest, and maybe you're a Packers fan and everything's through green and yellow glasses and you think they're going to go 15-2, whatever, fine. Just be really honest. Only 7 teams can make the playoffs, and 1 team from the horrible NFC South is going to make it. So, we know that already. So, the question is not, are the Packers better than the Panthers, the Bucks, the Falcons, or the Saints? Yes. One of those teams is going to make the playoffs, no matter what, right? So, I am going to list teams. And in your head, as the Cranberries famously said, in your head, do you like the Packers more or less than these teams? Zombie. The Philadelphia Eagles. The Dallas Cowboys. The Washington Commanders. The Detroit Lions. Chicago Bears. Minnesota Vikings. Seattle Seahawks. Los Angeles Rams. San Francisco 49ers. And that was today's edition of Guy Naming Teams, brought to you by Progressive Commercial Insurance. Get a quote today at progressivecommercial.com. Only 7 teams can make it. Take the NFC South, 6 teams can make it. Are the Packers one of the best 6 teams? Dallas, Philly, Washington. The other 3 teams in their division, the 3 Dragons in the NFC West. Are they one of the 6 best? They've been the 7 seed 3 straight years. Again, I'm not saying they suck. I don't think that. I like a lot of the other teams better. This offensive line has the potential to be good. Also has the potential to be a train wreck. Inexperienced. Guys starting at different positions than they began last season. Not to say they can't, like Sean Ryan at center. I know he played at center last year. Now he's the full-time center. How's that going to go? Maybe well, maybe not. When's Micah Parsons coming back? Can Matthew Golden take a step forward? Disappointing, right? Last year, first-round wide receiver. Is Tucker Kraft going to be the same player that he was when he looked like a top 3 tight ends in the league prior to his ACL tear? I think these are all really, really fair questions. Even if you think the answer all favors Green Bay, like it's all going to be yes in favor of the Packers, you have to acknowledge that the question's fair. Now, again, I think the Packers are good. So this is not me saying they're going to go 6-11 or 7-10. But I'll tell you the teams right now that I like more. I like Dallas more. Does that make you mad to hear? Maybe. I'm being honest. I like the Cowboys more. I will keep saying until and I'll use this color purposefully, purple, purposefully, people eater, Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings, I'll say it till I'm purple in the face. Went 9-8 last year with J.J. McCarthy, Carson Wentz, Max Brosmer, you and me at quarterback. 9-8. Brian Flores is back. Kyler Murray is a huge upgrade over J.J. McCarthy. Maybe not in terms of height, but everything else. I like the Vikings more. The Lions are not finishing in last place again. Even if I'm worried about their depth on the defensive line at edge rusher opposite Aiden Hutchinson, and maybe slightly concerned about Blake Miller stepping in at right tackle and Penei Sewell moving to left. Slight concerns. The Lions have too much talent, I think, for what happened last year to happen again. I like the Lions more than the Packers as it stands right now. I think the Bears and the Packers probably equal. You could talk me one way or another into either of the teams. And I like every team in the NFC West, all 3, not the Cardinals. The other 3, I like all more than the Packers. I like the Niners more, I like the Rams more, and I like the Seahawks more. So right now, and I don't have to make this decision in totality. I don't have to place a bet. I don't have to set it in stone. The season doesn't start tomorrow. Thank God, because I'm tired. As it stands right now, May 27th, 2026, I think the Green Bay Packers will be on the outside looking in of the NFC playoffs. You bet on this Wednesday. Nick Kostos and you on Westwood One Sports. Let's turn our attention to the AFC. Very, very, very bad news for everybody. Now, I am not a big fan of horror movies. And the reason why, and I've said this a million times, and I'll say it another million times, until I'm purple in the face, or red in this instance. Life, real life, is way scarier than any horror movie. Why do I want to like life is scary? Look at the prices of homes. I'm doing that on a regular basis. That's way scarier than what you get in a horror movie. So life is scary, right? But in a horror movie, when you think the bad, I don't really watch them. I just hear people talk about them colloquially, right? Like at Halloween, right? We think Michael Myers is dead, and then like he shows up at the end, or Freddy, or Jason, or whomever, right? Whatever. You think the bad guy's dead, the bad guy's still there. Did you think that Patrick Mahomes wasn't coming back? I told you when the Chiefs were announced as hosting Monday Night Football in Week 1, he's playing. He's playing. I have kind of been told, and like I'm not reporting anything, so please, I want that to be clear. I know some people. I've heard that in the strong likelihood, barring a setback, is he's going to play in Week 1. He was also spotted at OTAs yesterday for the Chiefs, practicing with a brace on his surgically repaired left leg, but he's practicing. He's going to play. Do you think the Chiefs are going to miss the playoffs again? Like, do you really think that? I'm being sincere. Like, I'm not saying that, like, you're dumb if you think so. I was as wrong as anyone could possibly be about anything last year when I didn't believe it until it actually happens that the Chiefs would miss the playoffs. So I was wrong last year. So I'm legitimately and earnestly and honestly and sincerely asking this question. Do you really think it's going to happen again? When you think about the best quarterbacks of all time, and Patrick Mahomes with 3 rings is like indisputably on that list. The only one that's missed the playoffs even more than a handful of times is Marino. That's it. That's it. It is very unlikely to me, very unlikely, that the Chiefs miss again. Now, there's work to do for Kansas City at receiver, where I think, and I'm on record saying this, I think they should sign Diggs and Tyreek Hill. Bring them both in. I don't think Rashee Rice is going to get suspended, but you need to, what's the word I'm looking for? Support yourselves, brace against it, protect yourself, protect. It's been a long month. Protect yourself in the event it happens, right? Mansour Delane, Peter Woods, R. Mason Thomas. I like the rejuvenation, the young blood injected onto the defense for Spags. Kenneth Walker toting the rock. The run game should actually be pretty good this year. And they have a Hall of Fame quarterback and a Hall of Fame coach. Tough for me to imagine they go 6-11 again, miss the playoffs again, although I didn't think it would happen last year, so it's possible, right? I just don't think it's likely to happen again. Last year's AFC was wild and wacky. Broncos are the 1 seed. Patriots are the 2. Patriots end up going to the Super Bowl. Jacksonville's in the mix. Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers knock out the Ravens on the final night, leading to John Harbaugh's ouster. It was just a weird year, right? The Chiefs don't make it. The Ravens don't make it. The Bills get bounced in the divisional round. They don't even win the AFC East. In 2023 and 2024, we saw the AFC have the same Final Four, both years. In 23, the Ravens played the Texans in divisional weekend and the Chiefs played the Bills. In 24, the Chiefs played the Texans and the Ravens played the Bills. This year, and it's May 27th. I think we're going to get that same Final Four for the 3rd time in 4 years. I'm really excited about the Chargers this year. Love the hire of Mike McDaniel. But the Chargers have 2 big questions, right? Number 1, are we sure, I'm not saying he can't be great, but Chris O'Leary, I would want to say Georgia's son, but I don't think he is. Chris O'Leary is stepping in for Jesse Minter as the defensive coordinator. How is that going to go? Maybe great. Also, maybe not great. The other problem is Justin Herbert, undeniably, incontrovertibly, and objectively, has played the 2 worst games maybe of his career, certainly of the last 2 years, in the wild card round. Justin Herbert is 0-3 in the playoffs. Built a huge lead against the Jaguars a number of years ago when Brandon Staley was the coach, and they yacked it away in the second half to Trevor Lawrence and company in Duval. So I got questions about the Chargers. Even if they make it, can they win a game? Maybe, but maybe not. I don't like the Steelers this year, as I've said ad nauseum. Could the Bengals get there? Yes. Do you trust the defense? It requires a leap of faith. Colts look likely to take a step back. The Jaguars, who could argue that they're better than they were entering last season? Doesn't mean they can't be good, but I think that's a true statement. And while the Patriots, who, by the way, begin OTAs today, I am expecting 1 week from now, hell, 5 days from now, I'm expecting A.J. Brown to be a Patriot. June 1st is almost here. Sal Palantonio of ESPN will join us on the show tomorrow to talk about this very topic. I'm not saying the Patriots are going to miss the playoffs. Patriots got some issues for sure. Like on the offensive line, where they took in the first round a left tackle in Caleb Lomu. Is he going to play this year? If he does, is he playing right tackle? He's a left tackle. And if he plays left tackle, what happens with Will Campbell? There's a domino effect here. Now, just like with Green Bay, I'm not insinuating that the Patriots are going to be bad. I don't think they're going to be bad. I think they're going to be good. Just that, I like the Bills more. I like the Ravens more with Jesse Minter, Buffalo with Joe Brady. I like the Chiefs more with Mahomes back. And I'm marinating on this take. I think the Texans are going to be awesome. All you need is for C.J. Stroud to be a little better than he was last year. That defense is going to be sick. Just like stupidly good, pending health. Stupidly good. So you ask me right now, my AFC Final Four, same as it was in 23 and 24. Kansas City, Buffalo, Baltimore, Houston. Last note. As it concerns the Patriots, how long has it been? We need like a counter. Days since X happened. Since we've seen a Mike Vrabel, Diana Rossini picture or story. If there are more, do you think there are? And this isn't me rooting for it. I'm on record saying, I want these families to be in peace. But this is the way the world works. If there are more, do you think that today would be the day? Or this week would be the week? They're practicing. A.J. Brown is getting set, we think, to come to Foxborough. I'm just saying that distractions could, and I think probably are, right around the corner for the reigning, defending AFC champion, New England Patriots. On the other side, Bill Zimmerman and the crew have prepared a game for us to play. I don't know what it is or what the rules are. We'll all find out next, together.
Kostos on Westwood One Sports.
Be a part of the playoff action when you bet with boosted odds. Activate your odds boost token for any bet on the NHL playoffs, and you'll receive a bigger payout if your bet wins. Get ready for puck drop with BetMGM. Download the BetMGM app today. We will talk the Stanley Cup playoffs next hour on the show. John Fanta will join us to start the hour, but until then, our friend Bill Zimmerman is with us. Bill, what is the game that we will be playing today on You Better You Bet?
All right, Nick. Well, we've been doing a lot of blind rankings and stuff like this, so we're going to mix it up today, and we're going to play a game we played probably a couple months ago called Older Than Dirt, which, of course, you, Tyler, and Kenny have to try and figure out if whatever I say is older than younger. We used me as the point last time, but this time, Nick, in honor of your New York Knicks, we're going with older or younger than the last time the New York Knicks won a championship in 1973.
All right, let's do it. I love it. And Tyler and Kenny are with us. For people watching, you get to see their handsome faces on video.
All right, so let's kick it off here, Nick.
Bill's ugly.
Very, very ugly. But
you've got what I call affectionately the sleaze strand, which is the strand that's like you look like Razor Ramon right now with the hair coming down on your forehead.
It just won't stay up. But but I am a Chicago suburb 7, so you got to keep that in mind. All right.
It's a great line.
Let's start with the television show. 60 Minutes. Is 60 Minutes older or younger than the Knicks championship?
So we're going in order here? Like, how are we doing this?
We can mix it up, but Nick, why don't you go first, and then Tyler, and then Kenny, and I'll mix it through. We'll cycle through. But
didn't it just celebrate its 50th anniversary recently?
It might or might not have.
I will say that the Knicks are older than 60 Minutes. I think it just celebrated its 50th anniversary.
Tyler, what do you have?
I will say it's older. I mean, I gotta imagine the show's been on since television was first invented, so I'll go say older.
Kenny?
I think this is going to be pretty close, so I'll say different than them. I'm going to say it's younger.
Okay, 60 Minutes is older than the Knicks last championship. It started in 1968.
Okay.
All right,
where did I pull that from then? The 50th anniversary, whatever. Who cares? Okay.
Well, maybe it was 2018, and you're just remembering it like it was yesterday. All right, we're going into the candy subject here. Tyler Morales. Skittles, are they younger or older than the Knicks championship?
I'll say younger. I have no evidence of that, but I'm just going to say under.
All right, Kenny?
I feel like Skittles have been around a while, so I'm going to say Skittles are older than the Knicks last title.
I'm going to say Nick, Skittles are older also, and I'm just going to say I don't think this game is very good so far.
All right, Skittles are younger, 1974. All right, next one up
who
here.
Cares? Can we get something good here?
All right. How about is the Heimlich maneuver good?
I mean, not really. The Heimlich maneuver is what does that even mean? People have been trying to save people from choking since the cavemen, probably. Of course it's older.
All right.
What do you think? The first time someone's choking on a chicken bone and you tried to save them was 1974?
Yeah, but people didn't know you had to come from the stomach. The Heimlich maneuver is actually younger than the Knicks last championship. So
we are so cooked as a species. It's unbelievable. It took us until 76 to figure out how to save people from choking.
All right, I'll do 3 more for you here. We'll do it kind of rapid fire. Nick, we'll start with you here. Is Cameron Diaz older or younger than the Knicks last championship?
There's a really funny D's joke to be made here, which I won't make. Cameron D's. D's what? Anyway, she has to be older or else you wouldn't ask the question.
Tyler?
I'm still in tears from the Heimlich maneuver stuff. I'll go Cameron Diaz over. Oh, she's older.
She's over. And Kenny?
She may not look like it, but I think she's older.
She is older. 1972. She is older.
Yeah,
all right, 2 more
of course
really quick.
You would never ask that if she were younger.
All right. How about the Egg McMuffin then, Nick? Smart guy. What do you got?
I don't care. We did McDonald's last time, right?
Well, we did the McChicken. Now we've got the Egg McMuffin. It's been around a long time.
What are you, obsessed with McDonald's?
Because everybody knows McDonald's.
Is the Egg McMuffin older or younger? I don't older. Who cares?
The old
I hate
Egg
this.
McMuffin is younger. The last subject here is the TV show Happy Days. Younger or older?
That's right around the same time, right? Does anyone know the theme song to Happy Days?
Isn't it like Tuesday, Thursday, Happy Days?
Yeah, you're close. You want to try it? Well, technically, Tyler, it would be in order.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Happy Days.
Well, I'll help you here. I think it's 2 followed by Happy Days, then another 2 followed by Happy Days. Go ahead.
I've already lost it. You got to finish this one for me.
Tyler, what are the days of the week? Say 2 of them and then say Happy Days in tune of the song. That's it.
Monday, Tuesday, Happy Days. Thursday, Friday, Happy Days.
Now, what about Wednesday?
I'm still taken back by the Heimlich maneuver here. I'm sorry.
Happy Days younger, 1974 than the Knicks.
Now we can all go on with our day. Bill, this game sucks.
All right, well, we can't all be winners.
Well, again, maybe it was a winner. Should we have done, in retrospect, should we have done 99 instead? Like, is it bad because it's too old?
Perhaps. We'll bring it back and we'll workshop it.
We're not going to do anything. I think this is a you problem. Honestly, I think the segment was pretty good. All right. Thank you, guys. The Heimlich, but I love that. Oh, someone in 1972, someone's choking. You just watch that son of a bitch croak. Final hour, power hour coming up next. John Fanta starts it off from NBC.
Now, back to You Better You Bet with Nick Kostos on Westwood One Sports.
Bring it up, Kenny. Final hour. Power hour. You Better You Bet on Westwood One Sports. Nick Kostos. Our amazing crew. Are they amazing? And you. The Power Hour and every hour here on You Better You Bet, brought to you by BetMGM. Make it legendary by downloading the BetMGM app and visiting BetMGM.com. Our friend John Fanta from NBC Sports will join us in just a moment. Looking forward to that. I'm going to tell everybody about 20 minutes from now, the coach in professional sports who is about to make, not about to make, but could make significant history, and nobody's talking about it. Isn't that a little odd? And when I tell you who and what it is, you are going to be like, man, I wish I had known that. I mean that sincerely. I might be the biggest sports fan you know. We don't really know each other, but you know what I'm saying. And I didn't even realize the depths of this. I'm going to lay it on you about 20 minutes from now. But joining us right now on the show, oh man, he will be the reporter for Sunday Leadoff this Sunday on NBCSN and Peacock when the Baltimore Orioles host the Toronto Blue Jays at noon Eastern. One of the stars of NBC. Basketball coverage, NBA, college hoops, now working baseball into the mix. What can't John Fanta do? And all-star dad as well. Our friend John Fanta back with us on You Better You Bet with your pal Nick Kostos. What's going on, my friend? Welcome back to the show.
What is happening, Nick? Fun time of year. Great to be with you, my friend. Thank you.
I want to start with this before we do some sports. As a fellow, father to a young child, how have the last, since we've been on the show, it's been about a month, maybe 6 weeks, 2 months. How have the last 6 weeks, 2 months of dadhood, what has it brought you? What changes has there been? Give us a dad servation.
Well, our son Andrew, he turned 1 on May the 7th, so we had the big first birthday party. It was baseball themed. He loves basketballs, football, soccer balls, baseballs. He gets practically, ball is a word that he uses as much as any. It is the best. Every single day gets better and better. And, when you live this lifestyle, you've got to have assistance as well. I'm very grateful because I'm here in New Jersey. We're right near the town that my wife, Victoria, grew up in. So I have amazing in-laws who are local and who do so much to help when I'm on the road. And I'll tell you what, that it takes a village, but there's nothing better than being a dad. Nick, you and I love watching sports. I was up late last night watching the Western Conference Finals, and I get to call games and talk to different figures and whatnot. That all pales in comparison to when I get to spend time with my son. So that's the latest. I'm excited for some summertime fun. I'm excited to take him. He's actually coming down this Sunday to Camden Yards, his second ballpark that he will have seen for the Blue Jays Orioles. He's going to be in the seats, watching Dad work and watching the ball game. And we got some ballparks to hit this summer. That's what's on my list.
I love that. And my daughter's birthday, my daughter Colette, is May 6th. So she turned 2 on May 6th. Your son Andrew turned 1 on May 7th. So you absolutely love it. Wait till, I know he says the word ball a lot. Wait till he starts saying no. It's my daughter's favorite word right now. And it's the answer. You could be like, hey, honey, you love cheese? Would you like some? Well, cheese she'll say yes to. Anything else, the answer is no. No, I don't want this. Even if she wants it. Oh, my God.
I have a sister named Colette. I love that. I love that name.
It's a great name, right? My wife sent me a Sesame Street meme. We'll get to sports in a second. And it was Elmo, and Elmo's doing a bit where all he wants is cheese. You don't know. I never knew this before, that babies just love cheese. It's their favorite thing. It's all my daughter ever wants to eat. She just goes, cheese.
Here's the problem. I'm 30, and I still love cheese the way I did when I was a baby. So, That's the big thing. No, it's you know it too well. It is a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. But as you know, in our industry, it's I'll tell you what, and I've seen some pieces about this. I think one of the coolest things about being at NBC is I kind of became a dad as that was happening. And Nick, you never know like what that process is going to be like when you're on year one on a job. You want to give everything you've got to that. You want to give everything you have to being a dad. And I've got some incredible bosses who it's just that type of place. Family first and putting your family first. It means a lot to that place. Folks who have watched the conference finals may have seen, Vince Carter had to miss tonight for a graduation. So did Tracy McGrady for a graduation. That's the type of place it is. They understand that we're trying to balance and juggle it all.
That's cool. And it's not easy. It's if you want to be great at your job and be a great dad and be a great husband, that's a tough 3-leg parlay to cash. But we listen, man, we do and the toughest one is being a good husband when you're trying to do the other two. That's my experience.
That's right.
We do.
That's right. I'm with you.
We do the best. Yep. We just do the best we can, and hopefully the chips fall where they may. All right. Let's talk some sports. Let's talk some hoops. John Fanta, number one take coming out of last night's Thunder Spurs game is what and why?
That the Oklahoma City Thunder have every type of piece, answer, tool in the box that says dynasty. That was my number one takeaway. Because when you're down Jalen Williams and you're down AJ Mitchell and everybody's thinking, okay, are the cards stacked against them? Are they going to show a human moment, Nick? And I think they've shown some of those moments here in this series. But my number one take is, wow, when this team even remotely shoots the ball well from the perimeter, they're really difficult to beat because it allows them to set up their defense. You know what my other take is? If I had a 1B for you, I don't think we're talking at all enough about how good of a coach Mark Dagnall is. This guy's a wizard. You could see it. When they show shots of him in the game, Nick, and by the way, how could you dislike him? He's not in your face.
Well, ask me in 2 weeks as a Knicks fan. Ask me in a couple weeks, and I'll probably have a good answer for you. But your point stands, obviously.
Yeah, like the guy's got a really good demeanor about him, and his team plays that way. And I know there's been a lot made about the flopping and the calls and all this. The Thunder were the better team last night. Like they silenced people last night, and for Jared McCain to supply what he did in this game, for Alex Caruso is invaluable to this team. He is absolutely invaluable, and you got to account for him defensively because if you leave him open, he is going to make you pay, and that's just it. They've got the MVP, Chet Awoke, but I think that was my number one takeaway. It's not, hey, I'm going to rip a 22-year-old Wembanyama, or I think the Spurs are a great team. Oh, Nick, by the way, I gave you my first take. My take also is that this series is going to go 7 games. I think that the San Antonio Spurs will respond in Game 6 at home. I love their home court advantage, and I think you're just going to see De'Aaron Fox make more of an impact, Wembanyama be in more of a flow, and Castle deliver one of his marquee games that it's become. This is the NBA's new rivalry, but the Thunder wear the crown. They wear the crown, and I think they ultimately will wear the crown in this series.
Yeah, I don't disagree, and probably going to wear the crown overall if I have to be totally honest, which makes me sick as a Knicks fan, but I have to speak truth when I come on the microphone here. You used an interesting word there, which was dynasty. And no one's going to disagree with that, right? Then I think the word I used was sprout. Like a dynasty is sprouting right now potentially for the Oklahoma City Thunder. But dynasty, and I think you'll agree with this and everyone will agree, it's more than 2, right? So it has to be at least 3.
Yeah.
So this would be the second, right? And this is not me disagreeing with you. I just think it's a fascinating thing that you said because, look, I think the Thunder will win this series also. You can make a case that the Thunder, let's say it's Thunder Spurs again next year, which will be the favorite to happen, right, in the Western Conference Final. Right. Can OKC beat them again? Of course.
Sure.
But could the Spurs beat them next time? Absolutely. If I gave you right now, and it's a difficult question, but I respect your opinion and you're really good at this, so I'm fascinated your answer. If I gave you the next 2-3 years, Thunder, not this year, we both like the Thunder. Who are you taking, Thunder or Spurs, and why?
The Spurs. And so you're right. I agree with you. It takes 3, 4, 5 for a dynasty. I think for me last night, that was a case of like, oh, you think that the Thunder are like the Storm's just going to stop now? Like it's over now? No, they're going to threaten this thing. Like they're gonna line the pieces up to say we believe that we are a dynasty, and it looks like the Spurs are the only thing that are stopping them. Now we could say all this, and I hope this doesn't happen, but none of us had Jason Tatum and Tyrese Halliburton having the injury situations that they just had over the last year. The NBA goes through random waves and different things where unexpected things can happen. But I would take the Spurs. I think the Spurs' future is super, super bright because for Wembanyama, like last night, for him to be yelling at his teammates, I was impressed. You're 22 years of age, man. Like we Nick, how many times covering sports have you said about a guy in their young 20s, he needs to be better at leading? No, we would be saying he needs to learn from this and become a better leader. This guy's got it all checked off. He's got it all crossed off. If he stays healthy, he's going to run this league for the next 15 years. And that is a precious piece of gold for Adam Silver and his league. Because you can't take your eyes off Wembanyama. You just can't. He didn't even play well last night. I still can't take my eyes off him because his impact speaks no limits, no boundaries. They're set up. Castle, Fox, hell, Harper. I mean, they've got Carter Bryant, who I think is going to sprout in the future years.
It's amazing.
It's like they have development projects at the end of their bench that haven't even developed. What's interesting is how much these two franchises mirror each other, how close they are in proximity, and how much their fan bases despise each other. It's great for sport. It's awesome for basketball. I would take the Spurs in future years because I'm not gonna bet against a guy who I think can cause friction in the Jordan LeBron debate and put his name in there when it's all said and done. But yeah, I mean that is the makings of a rivalry that runs the league, and we're in it right now. So let's enjoy it. Like Nick, I don't know if you agree or disagree. I can't remember the last time I look this forward to teams that weren't mind playing each other again. Like I am excited for tomorrow night, and we're not even in the NBA Finals
because you know that barring injury, and I know you're 100% right. Like things can happen in sports, but if things remain static and there's health, I got news for everybody. This is the Western Conference Final. Next year, it's the Western Conference Final in 2 years. Like this is just the beginning of what could be a decade-long rivalry between two absolute monster franchises with stud young players.
And if your argument is that's boring, then I would say back to you, have you watched sports television for the last 50 years, and have you seen the ratings reports when those rivalries are renewed in the playoffs? The ratings reports have always said the same things. Rivalries drive the bus in sport. Dislike drives the bus in sport. And, I will say this. There's been a lot made about the NBA and their television rights situation and how the games are all over. And you can, if you want to argue about things and how random. Here's the deal, though. Every game of this series is on network television. Every single game. And when we get to the conference finals, in this television deal where you're going to be able to find things. But there's never been more playoff games in the NBA on over-the-air TV than there have been this year. In fact, last night was the first Game 5 in the NBA conference finals. In the conference finals, it was the first Game 5 on over-the-air television. So I'm talking about NBC, CBS, ABC, Fox, the four big ones. It's the first conference finals Game 5 in the NBA on one of those stations since 2002. And so this rivalry's not
which
only...
was NBC also, right? Which was NBC also.
Which was on NBC also. It was on NBC also. Game 5, this far into a series to be on over-the-air TV. So, like, to me, the league, like, it's going through a period of transition, and it's also going with it in a time where when people sit down to watch television now, they're flipping around on nights like this, and I believe it's extremely easy to access. And in future years, when other partners have it, this is part of the new reality. I just think, like, the NBA, it feels like there's a certain group of people that find ways to be critical of it. If you're being critical, you're not watching the product. Like, whoever the Knicks play in the finals, the quality of basketball is not going to be, it's going to be here. It's going to be absolutely enthralling and thrilling to watch. So I just, if you want to call me a homer for the league, well, go ahead and call me that. But I can't unsee what I'm watching right now. And we're talking about the birth of something really, really special.
2 points on that. The first thing I would say is I'm a captive audience. I'm never going to not watch. I love sports. I've been watching the NBA for almost 40 years. So, I love it all the time, so I'm with you on that. The other thing I'll say is, and I always remain consistent because whether, John, you're on the show or not, my audience, my audience will call me out if I'm hypocritical. So I have to tell the truth whether you're here or not, so I'm going to tell the truth right now. I turn 43 next Saturday. I consider myself to be like a young boomer almost. I used to be great with it. Now I don't want to deal with newfangled technology. I have to be honest with you. I have less than zero with the I watched last night's game on Peacock. I didn't even watch it on NBC.
Wow.
I think this is all, I'm being serious, and I'm not saying that this is not me sucking up to you or NBC. I'm telling the truth. I think all of this is much ado about nothing.
I agree.
Much ado about nothing.
Nick, I also, this is my other thing on this. What is going on with people when they say the game doesn't start at 8, starts at 8:06, starts at 8:12?
It's been going on forever in sports. That always happens.
It's been going on for years.
Forever. Correct.
I can remember this vividly. The Browns played the Ravens in a Monday night game. It was a dud Monday night game. This is it was Halloween. I was 7 or 8 years old. And my parents let me stay up for the game, and it was at 8:30. Now, I'm hopping on social media, and I'm reading tweets from people saying, this is so late. Folks, what, did you just drop out of the sky?
Right.
This is prime time. The game's not at 7 o'clock. I'm sorry, it's not during the Lawrence Welk show. It's in prime time. Have the stamina, go grab some chicken wings, go get a 6-pack, or get some caffeine in your system. This is where we're at as sports fans now. I get it. You get it. Yeah, are there some mornings where our kid gets up at 5:30 in the morning or 6 a.m. and needs us? Of course, but this is part of life, and it has been for a long, long time. The complaining about the times and this and the logistics and that, come on, man. It is much ado about nothing. It is what it is.
Would you like to complain about something?
I don't really complain about much. I don't.
I think I'm going to get you to complain about something.
Oh, you're
going to
get me to. I know where you're going with this one. Yeah, I know where you're going.
Would you like for me to even set it up, or would you like to speak about your hometown NBA team and their reaction after getting swept by my Knicks?
Yeah, that reaction was embarrassing, and it may have been more embarrassing than the performance in Game 4.
That's exactly what I said yesterday. It was actually more embarrassing. I agree.
Which is hard to fathom because the performance on the floor on your home court, to have a team celebrate a conference championship on your court, we often see it in the finals, and even the World Series. You do not, as the home team, want to see another team celebrate on your field or your court. Come on. The Cavs, they laid down. They laid down, and then for less than 24 hours to pass and them to say we're running it back with everybody that was, that everybody was part of it from a leadership standpoint. I know there's humans, Nick, and I know these. What I mean by that is I know these people have families, and I know that they've got lives. So I'm not in the class of I try not to come on and say fire everybody and scorched earth, and you've known me long enough. That's not what I do. That being said, that was very curious for them to not evaluate their situation and say what's best for us. Because to me, with the Cavs, I think they've got an owner in Dan Gilbert who's starting to get up there in age. I don't know how much. I don't know if Dan wants to do this another 10, 15 years. If he wants to do another, my guess would probably be 5 years or so. I don't think
he's 64, Dan Gilbert.
He's 64. Yeah. So look, I don't get the sense he wants to do this forever. I think for him, he's looking at the windows, in his mind. I think his mindset is, our window's still open. Nick, you can't look through that window and say with confidence that it's still open after what happened in the series that we just watched. Not as currently constructed. Not knowing that you're gonna re-sign James Harden. You're going to re-sign him. Now, when they made the Garland for Harden trade, I was not vehemently against it. Okay, I was not. Because with Garland, they were not making progress. I don't think they would have made the conference finals. But this is a long-term NBA think tank, TED Talk, if you will, of what do you really believe is success? Right? What do you really believe is success? Is getting into the conference finals.
Title success.
Title is success. So with that being the case, are they closer to a championship than they were a year ago? The answer to that question is no. It's not. Because of the fashion in which if they had taken the Knicks to 6 or 7 games, Nick, I think you'd have to agree, and played well and played hard and been into the Knicks defensively and getting stops and making them work, and the Knicks just beat them because the Knicks, Landry Shamet shooting the heck on the ball, Hart's doing his thing, Bridges, Anunoby, and on top of what Brunson and Cat have done, which I think Cat's the single biggest determinant of whether or not the Knicks win the championship. If the real Karl Anthony Towns is continually showing up in the finals, I think the Knicks have a shot. I really do think that they have a chance. But for me, with the Cavs, they got exposed, they got embarrassed. You don't just get exposed and embarrassed in sports and say status quo. We're going to keep things the same. Their front office now has to get on the move. Like you can't deal with the James Harden problem. All right, you got to keep him. But I think out of this, you better be coming out with Giannis, or you better be taking a hard look at Jaylen Brown. I mean,
you want LeBron back
for one last dance? I don't just want LeBron in the current construction of players, Nick. Like as a Clevelander. And as a person that watches, this team in the league, I think the Cavaliers, their number one priority has to be how do we come out with Giannis Antetokounmpo, even if it means that we are trading Evan Mobley, even if it means that we're exploring what Donovan Mitchell's future looks like. We need to go and get it. We need to go and get a guy. People are forgetting how good Giannis is. They're forgetting how good Giannis is because the Milwaukee Bucks have mismanaged the last couple years. You need to get a guy who, if he's remotivated in a new town, still wants to prove himself. He absolutely does. When he plays his best basketball, he is one of the 4 most valuable players in the NBA. Full stop. I don't care what. If I'll disagree with somebody until the sun goes. You can't replace his length, his athleticism, the way he controls the game on both ends of the floor. You got to go get Giannis. Do I want LeBron? Would I take LeBron? I would. Yeah, one last dance. Camera crews everywhere, Nick. I like a good show, but this doesn't work unless Giannis is in Cleveland as well. I'm talking about winning a championship here. If you have Giannis, LeBron James, Donovan Mitchell, James Harden, okay, and you got Max Strus and Dean Wade as shot makers with Sam Merrill, I guess. Is that a team that could win it all? Yes, it is, especially with a LeBron James that says I need to go out with a title.
You have time for one more question, 30 seconds for the answer. You've been very generous. Okay,
of course.
So you are like one of the voices of sports fans, right? Like you love sports. So I'm fascinated. It's just the truth. I'm fascinated what you're going to say to what I'm about to say. So as a Knicks fan, because I have people on social media that are killing me for this. I have members of my own crew that are killing me. They should shut up and be grateful. They're not, though. They're ungrateful. It's okay. I love them. They're killing me. I don't want to see the Thunder. As a Knicks fan, I would much, and it's not that San Antonio is a pushover, but give me the Spurs. In fact, I'd rather play give me the Sacramento Kings in the NBA Finals. And I have people saying, they've won 11 straight games. Who cares who you play? Give me the Thunder. I think this is crazy. Why do you want the path of most resistance? Give me the path of least resistance. Am I being a bad sports fan?
No. You're picking who you think your team matches up with better to try to win the championship. I wouldn't want to run into the Thunder because I don't know what AJ Mitchell and Jalen Williams are going to be, but I know this much: if either one of those two guys is playing, did you watch the team that played last night?
The Knicks are going to lose, right? Like I don't want to say that, but like they're probably going to lose.
Yeah, they're probably going to lose, and it's not just.
God, I hate that.
Could the Knicks win the series? Of course they could. Yeah. Of course they could. I also this might come off as a hot take to you. So I might blow everybody's minds out. But I do think people are this again might sound crazy. The Knicks are better away from home. So, and here's why. when they're at home at the Garden for that game 3 and 4, do you know who's going to be sitting near the court? The nerves involved with that, playing at home, like the spotlight so on that team, like you're playing our first finals game since 99. Now you've got to go out and win it. I mean, we've got rumors, that the president of the United States is planning on attending an NBA finals game.
Can't wait.
I mean, like everybody that's in the celebrity circle is playing. There's just a show to that. There's a theater to that. And yes, it can be a bit of a distraction. So, for me, it's not like, well, the Garden's a different entity, so the Knicks are going to force it into 6 or 7 games. You got to win on the road. And I think OKC's even harder to win at than San Antonio. I'm just being real. I really believe it's a cauldron. So I don't want to run into the dynasty. I never want to run into the dynasty. I'd rather run into, San Antonio with the youth trying to
like
do
as a Cavs fan, did you want to see the Kevin Durant Warriors or the James Harden Rockets in the finals?
Right. I wanted to see Harden. It's like as a Cavs fan in 07. When the Cavs made in 07, they're going up against the Spurs. And everyone's like, they could beat the Spurs. I'm like, are you kidding? If Duncan, Parker, and Ginobili, there's no way it's going to happen. It's not.
Right.
It's not. And guess what? They got swept in 4 games.
Yeah, it was rough. But
here's the thing, Nick. Those teams are thinking right now, how are we going to stop the Knicks? Like, to me, and we might be over time. The number one question to the NBA Finals for me will be, who and how do you stop the Knicks? Because the Knicks on offense right now, they are a joy to watch. They move the ball. Their shot making is elite, but they've embraced what Mike Brown has put down. And if I had, Nick, I love a good story. If I were to tell a story during this NBA Finals, and I hope somebody does, and I'm sure somebody will, whether it's Lisa Salters or somebody, that's on the television coverage. You know what question I want to know, and I'm sure you're curious too. What happened behind the scenes between Mike Brown and Karl Anthony Towns? At what point this year did those two sit down in a room, wherever it was it mediated by someone, and say, what needs to happen for us to get the best out of each other and the best out of this relationship? Because
after game 3, right? After game 3 against Atlanta is probably the answer. And I understand it's a hypothetical. I understand the question. That almost has to be the answer.
It has to be the answer. And whoever can find out the answer, because whether he's scoring or not, Mitchell Robinson even benefits from that guy. Everybody does, because he takes up attention. And if he's making any perimeter shots, forget it. You have to pick your poison guarding the Knicks. That's why. I'm not trying to get your hopes up, but I'm saying it to you. That's why the Knicks can win the title. Because when you're defending them, you have to at some point say, we have to be willing to live with that guy taking a shot. And guess what, Nick? Those guys, Hart, Shamet, Bridges, it's not a question right now. They're making those shots. And why are you making the shots to the degree you're making them? Because your legs are rested. They're getting rest.
If I'm gonna feel like I'm like the Patrick Ewing finger roll in 95, the Charles Smith 93. I'm gonna be devastated if they lose. I don't even want to. You're the best, man. You made me feel pretty good.
It's the best NBA Finals. It's gonna be the best NBA Finals theatrically in at least 10 years
since 16. Since the Cavs versus the 73-1 Warriors.
I can't wait. I cannot wait.
You know what I can't wait for? Sunday, noon Eastern, NBC Sports Network and Peacock. Listen, I'm a Yankee fan, so I'll be tuning into the game, hoping to see both teams lose. That won't happen. The Baltimore Orioles and the Toronto Blue Jays at Camden Yards, and making a special appearance at the game, young Andrew Fanta, my friend. Congratulations. Have a great broadcast coming up on Sunday, where John will be the reporter for Sunday Leadoff on NBC Sports Network and Peacock.
Thank you, Nick. Great to be with you.
You're an absolute stud. The great John Fanta here on the show. The Knicks. Can I say we? Are we going to win? Hope so. Bill Zimmerman is telling me, he's not asking, he's telling me we have to go to break. So we'll do that right now. And on the other side, the coach in sports who's about to make history that no one's talking about on a Wednesday.
sweep the President's Trophy winning Avalanche in the Western Conference Final.
Now, back to You Better You Bet with Nick Kostos on Westwood One Sports.
Sean McDonough with the call last night on ESPN. The Vegas Golden Knights sweep the Colorado Avalanche, Western Conference champions, and for the third time in the franchise's first 9 seasons, will play for Lord Stanley's Cup. It's unbelievable. It's unreal. Honestly, what is even the argument against what I'm about to say? And I didn't do the research to know hey, in 1908 did this happen? In the modern era of sports, there has never been a better franchise to start than the Vegas Golden Knights. Never. Made the Cup Finals in year 1, won a couple years ago, back in the Cup Finals this year. This is is this hyperbole? Is it a hot take? Is this the model franchise in all of professional sports, the Vegas Golden Knights? Is that a hot take? Seriously, is that a hot take? I give them a ton of credit. And I know because I lost money. I thought this was Colorado's year. I thought the Avs were going to steamroll to a Stanley Cup championship. They did not. They got handled. And look, Cale Makar's not healthy. The Nathan McKinnon gets banged up, and Vegas has caught lightning in a bottle. I'm pretty surprised at how this happened, but facts are facts. Vegas will play either Carolina or Montreal for the Stanley Cup. I think it'll be Carolina. The Canes are a pretty big road favorite tonight, about minus 150. I think the price is about right. If I had to bet the game, I think I'd bet the Hurricanes on the puck line and the under. I think we're talking like a 3-1 Hurricanes win tonight. I don't know if I'm going to bet the game. We'll do our bets at the end of the show. I just think Carolina's going to win. I think the price is right, so I don't know what I'm supposed to do. As far as the Golden Knights are concerned, there is a really, and now that they're there in the finals, maybe this will start to get talked about more. But there is a very underreported story, and there's a ton going on in sports. And I haven't talked a lot about it, so I'm not criticizing anyone. But I think the time has now come for us to discuss this. The Vegas Golden Knights this year, and this is not directly the point that I'm about to make, but it's a river that feeds into the ocean. This year, in the regular season, the Las Vegas Golden Knights won 39 games. 39 games, and will play for Lord Stanley's Cup. Here are teams that won more games in the regular season than the Vegas Golden Knights. Are you ready for this list? The Detroit Red Wings won 41 games. The reigning defending Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers won 40 games. The Washington Capitals won 43 games. The New York Islanders won 43 games. The New Jersey Devils won 42 games. The Columbus Blue Jackets won 40 games. The San Jose Sharks. The San Jose Sharks won 39 games. What do all of those teams have in common? None of them made the playoffs. Vegas won 39 games, and out of their 26 losses, 17 were in overtime. So by virtue of that and getting the points in those games, Vegas wins its division and is now playing for Lord Stanley's Cup. With 8 games to go in the regular season, Vegas fired coach Bruce Cassidy, who won the Stanley Cup a couple of years ago. With 8 games to go, fired Bruce Cassidy. It felt like at that point, season may be on the brink. They bring in veteran coach John Tortorella. And this reminds me of the 2000 New Jersey Devils. And I talked about this yesterday with Eddie Olczyk. They remind me of the New Jersey Devils in 2000, who with 8 games to go in the regular season, fired coach Robbie Ftorek. Now, an assistant took over. Tortorella was not employed at the time. Larry Robinson takes over, leads the Devils to a win over the 1 seed in the Eastern Conference Final, the Philadelphia Flyers, and they beat the reigning defending Stanley Cup champion Dallas Stars in 6 to win Lord Stanley's Cup. So it's not apples to apples, but Torts gets hired with 8 games to go in the regular season and has Vegas in the Stanley Cup Final. And since John Tortorella took over, the Knights are 19-4-1. It's stunning. Now, here's where history can be made. If the Las Vegas Golden Knights win the Stanley Cup, John Tortorella will become just the 4th coach in NHL history to win a Stanley Cup with 2 different teams, joining Tommy Gorman and Dick Irvin before my time, perhaps before yours, and the legendary Scotty Bowman, who won cups with 3 different teams, the Canadiens, the second Lemieux Yager Pittsburgh Penguins team in 92, and won a bunch of cups in Detroit with the Red Wings. So Torts would be on that list after winning back in 2004 with the Tampa Bay Lightning. In the 4 major sports, I racked my brain. I asked ChatGPT. I looked it up. In the NHL, the longest gap in terms of years between one Stanley Cup and the next is 13. Scotty Bowman won in 1979 with the Canadiens. 13 years later, won in 1992 with the Pittsburgh Penguins. In all of sports, this will be the longest a coach will have gone in between championships. John Tortorella won the Stanley Cup in 2004 with the Tampa Bay Lightning. 22 years later, he's back in the Stanley Cup final. Think about that. Think about it. And think about how all of us collectively view John Tortorella. If you're a big enough sports, if you're a hockey fan, obviously, but if you're a big enough sports fan, you know Torts, obviously. But if you're not a big hockey fan and you have no idea what I'm talking about, I'll explain it. So Tortorella, despite winning a cup with Tampa, is is best known for his cantankerous attitude with both the media, sometimes with fans, with his players, and with opposing coaches and fans. Most exemplified when he was the coach for, a cup of coffee in Vancouver with the Canucks before he burned out there, playing Bob Hartley in the Calgary Flames, doesn't like that the Flames start a period with 4 enforcers on the ice, and literally tries to get into the Flames locker room to fight Bob Hartley and get suspended for 15 games. He was suspended for 3 games as an assistant coach with the Sabres in 1995. Suspended multiple times throughout his career. Suspended with the Philadelphia Flyers. Got into it, squirted water on Capitals fans as the coach of the Rangers in 2009. This is what he's been known for. That he's a good coach, but he's a pain in the ass. I don't know him personally to say that, but this is what people will say. He's gruff. He's tough. He's rude to the media. He can be rude to fans. That's how people talk about him. Despite the fact that he won a cup in 2004. He is a champion coach. What are we going to say in a couple weeks, 2-3 weeks, if Vegas wins the cup? If he rescued this team and delivered a championship, he worried he would never coach again. And now, a potential champion would become only the 4th coach in the history of the league to win with 2 different teams. 22 years in between championships. This is a story that I think is very much worth your time. Our executive producer, Bill Zimmerman, is here with the trivia question of the day. Bill, you're a huge sports fan and a big hockey fan. Were you aware of this stuff with John Tortorella, or did I break that to you here on the show?
I obviously I knew who he was as a coach, and a all the attitude issues, and I did know he won a cup. But in terms of trying to put him in historical perspective and the gap with Stanley Cups, I did not know that. I did not realize
22 years.
22 years. And then you were talking about trying to find other comps and stuff like that. You look at other sports, like this is just not a thing that happens to coaches or managers.
The 22 years in between champion. Like you brought up Vermeil, and obviously the Eagles didn't win the Super Bowl that he coached against the Raiders in Super Bowl 15, but then like 17 or 19 years later won a championship with the Rams. So it's kind of close, even though they didn't win. Like I understood the comparison there. There aren't that many in the history of sports that are like this with Tortorella. I think it's actually the prime example. All right, we're running out of time. Bill, what is the trivia? I don't even know what the topic is. What's the trivia question of the day?
All right, Nick. Well, we talked about it here with the Chicago Cubs with their 10-game losing streak being a baseball team that has won 10. They actually did it twice already this year and lost 10 in the same season. The only other baseball team to do that is the LA Dodgers. But in NBA,
2017, the team that lost to the cheating Astros in the World Series.
Correct. But in the NBA, there is one team in the history of the sport that has won at least 10 in a row and lost at least 10 in a row in the same season. Can you tell me the team that has done that?
Okay. I want to say it's the Philadelphia 76ers, but I don't think I'm right about that. I may need a hint. We'll try and answer this question and give you all our bets for tonight to wrap up the show right after this.
Now, back to You Better You Bet with Nick Kostos on Westwood One Sports.
Bill, just one more time, give us the trivia question.
One team in NBA history has won at least 10 games and lost at least 10 games in the same season. Who is it?
And give the hint that you gave during the break.
The hint I gave during the break is that this team made a major trade in the middle of the season.
For a future Hall of Famer.
Yes, and it turned out this player was a future Hall of Famer that they acquired.
Now, I guessed a point guard, and Bill said I was getting warmer, so it's a point guard. And you also gave me a hint that it's a Western Conference team. Oh, okay. The Jason Kidd.
It is it. Jason Kidd got traded to the Phoenix, the 96-97 Phoenix Suns, who started off 0-13 and still made the playoffs thanks to a hot 11-game winning streak towards the end of the year.
I'm really just... The fact... What is wrong with me that I couldn't think of it?
You had a block. It happens.
That's bad, right?
I think it's fine that you couldn't quite put your finger on a trade from 30 years ago.
Yeah, I should be able to get this stuff. All right, let's get to the thank you, Bill, for the trivia question. Thanks to our guests today, John Fanta and Danny Parkins. Bill, Kenny, Dan, Mike, Tyler. Kenny, please drop the dope ass beat. All right, we want you to be part of the playoff action when you bet with boosted odds. Activate your odds boost token for any bet on the NHL playoffs. You'll receive a bigger payout if your bet wins. Get ready for puck drop with BetMGM. Download the BetMGM app today. So I think I'm just going to do it. I'm going to bet the Canes on the puck line tonight. I think Carolina's got this here. And Carolina will be a low-scoring game. Carolina will be winning at the end, an empty netter. Small bet on the Canes on the puck line, plus 165. And I'd like to donate some money to the sports books today. So last night for the Dodgers, Shohei Ohtani got hit in the hand with a pitch. The pitch. He's pitching tonight. They're minus 425 against the Rockies. Can I interest anyone in a small wager on the Colorado Rockies tonight? Anyone? Probably a donation to the sports books. But I'll take a shot on Colorado. Small bet on Colorado. Small bet on the Canes. We are in the let's wait for the NBA Finals mode here. Or at least until Game 6 tomorrow night with the Spurs and the Thunder. That does it for the Wednesday edition of the show. I will talk to all of you on a tremendous Sports Thursday. Until then, I'm Nick Kostos wishing you minimal sweats, winning bets, the absolute very best of luck. Our good friends Bleck and Abdallah are coming up next on Westwood One Sports.